going to be as grand as this. It's just going to be a good event, good times, good people, good TOs, and it's going to be a good time. And you should go to it because I'm TOing it, so please come to it.
I don't know if I'll be in the country when it is occurring.
That is very sad.
But I'm sure you'll fill out your player cap.
Yeah, but this really disappoints me.
I know it disappoints you.
It makes me really sad. I'm going to miss you.
It's because you care about me more than anyone in the world.
Okay, that's not true, but I do care about you. I do care about you. I think you're a person, and I very much appreciate you as a friend and as a doubles teammate and everything else. But I also know, unfortunately, that there are people who have more meaning in my life, and I'm sorry for that.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, but, you know, and that's great.
I have to say the same.
So we are now going to be watching Skullbro Madness.
Skullbro Madness. All right,
so
I'm not even going to pretend to know what to look for in this set.
Okay, so I'll put it to you like this.
Matt is looking at me like,
the last time I saw these two people play was at FET 3, which is feels so long ago already.
Yeah.
Because it's basically been 2 years. I remember watching that set. I was very confused. I didn't really understand any of what was happening because it's a plumber ditto, but it's a plumber ditto against two wildly different plumbers. Because when I watch a plumber ditto, it's Noon versus Skullbro.
Yeah.
And that is definitely a set where I feel like Skullbro tries to prove that Doc is the better character. And this is Doc Luigi, where Skullbro isn't sitting there being like, you know, Mario's the worst character, right? Because it's Luigi, it's a different character, it does different stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I'm just kind of thinking about this matchup in my head about like, I guess the same thing I was thinking with Sheik against Doc, Max Skullbro, which is like, how is Luigi going to get percent in this matchup, you know, consistently? I feel like it's both just going to be them walling until one of them gets like a grab and then maybe 30%, 20%. And then just both of them probably have pretty solid kill options. I feel like Luigi's got a pretty good edge guard against Doc. Maybe that's completely wrong.
How I see this, how I imagine this, is it's going to be Madness pressing a lot of buttons and it's Skullbro trying to throw out some really weird movement mix-up.
Yep.
I do perceive Skullbro to be the slightly more like, I guess, not assertive, but the one that shows a bit more of initiative.
Yes. Well, he's got a very expectant style, you know? Like, he expects you to be where he wants you to be. At least that's how I feel when I play. Maybe it's just because I have a lower level.
What I feel like he's somebody who basically tries to put out as many feelers as he possibly can during and just kind of like he constantly puts out little little psych.
Yeah.
You thought.
But which is so interesting because I mean, Luigi with his long-ass wave dash and how fast it is, I'm wondering how that's going to translate. Like, I really don't know how Skullbro's going to approach a character that has so much, like, I guess, horizontal momentum.
Well, I feel like sometimes, when people watch Luigi, I feel like people sometimes forget that, well, this is going to sound really dumb, actually, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Yeah, please.
Is that you are either wave dashing away or you are wave dashing in. And besides some spacing, obviously a lot of spacing things and timing stuff, that is basically what is happening. And I feel like sometimes people see the wave dash from characters like Ices and Luigi, and they think a bit too much, and they think a bit too hard about the idea that they have a million mix-ups that they're going to be playing.
100%.
Because they are definitely just going in and out, and they can just change the spacing and the timing. But generally speaking,
killed 140. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Battlefield.
Yeah, no, this is.
I mean,
it's going to be rough. Killing each other is definitely going to be a bit of an issue. I feel like Doc is probably going to have a bit more success with it. But to be completely honest, I don't know if down throw fair is real, or even a thing that you could conceivably do to read something. Yeah. We will in fact see. But one thing, Skullbro actually doesn't roll in time. Skullbro does not roll up in time, and he just rips a fair.
And he just rips a fair, which is the most Skullbro thing I've ever seen.
Yep, that is definitely the most Skullbro thing ever. I distinctly remember watching him play Ja Raiden at DreamHack Raiden 2022. He was up 2 stocks, game 5, and all he did was just rip F smashes and fairs until eventually Ja Raiden just ran into one of them. He was like, "Thank God I've won the set."
Yeah.
It's that, which
full distance waveland. That's crazy.
Yep. Oh, gets the edge guard.
Oh, I didn't know he had
I forgot
that,
about the cape. I forgot about the cape.
I forgot about the cape.
I feel like I feel like this happens when you watch Doc and Mario. You forget that they just have cape.
Yeah, and you forget that the recovery is kind of awful.
If you have a linear recovery, you get cape.
That adds a layer. That definitely adds a layer.
That definitely complicates a lot of things for Luigi.
Yeah, 100%.
I know also that there's little cape callouts you can do off stage.
Okay. I guess against side B.
Yeah, side B and stuff, and just little callouts that you could just do. And obviously, I think also Skullbro is just way more comfortable to go out Obviously, partially because his character just gets to do more stuff in the air than Luigi really does. But I know he's also just generally more comfortable.
Whoa,
okay, he just lets himself die though. So
from skullbro.
he just kind of lets himself die, which is definitely going to give Madness a bit of an in. But skullbro obviously, again, not afraid to just kind of run in, jab down smash. You know the motherfucking vibes.
I was actually hoping Magnus would get back just so I could see how skullbro would try to finish the stock off of just any hit.
Yeah.
Maybe like a Hail Mary forward air or something.
It's just such weird, like, it's so funny to see the way that Doc has to find openings and the way Luigi has to find openings. Because these obviously aren't clone characters, but it's just like, you can't help but like vaguely compare the characters, right?
Yeah.
Even if they both do a lot of different things, it's still like, isn't it weird that these platformers just kind of are weirdly different? Ooh, that trade. Oh, Madness.
Okay, another back here just for security.
Yes.
Very nice. Okay, interesting.
I thought for a moment Madness was just going to fumble that. But
kind of what I was expecting. What I wasn't expecting is how many hits would just whiff, but on purpose, you know? Like both of these people like to put out hitboxes just in case their opponent's going to be there.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the whole epitome of Luigi and Dr. Mario's game plan. And so I feel like 80% of these hits are connecting, and then once they do, unless it's like a grab, they don't really do much with it. They just go for another one, which is very interesting to see, actually.
It's kind of what it is, right? Like, I feel like it's kind of like it's a very
back here, maybe.
It's very kind of like Sheik-like. I feel like you kind of just put out moves in the spacing where you. Well, no, but it is like the thing, right? Like, I mean, because that's the thing. Like with a lot of people who play, like have like Doc secondaries and stuff, right? Like, it's the same thing with Sheik. Is that like they're relatively like they're quite not easy to learn characters, but they make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like they're very much like, oh, this is what you're supposed to be doing, kind of in a fighting game, and I feel like. Both characters, or like both types of characters, definitely fall into this thing where like there's a lot of putting out moves at ranges where it's safe, just so you can then, kind of trick your opponent into going in or going out, and then, making it more ambiguous what you're doing afterwards.
Interesting, yeah. What was interesting is, as I said earlier, skullbro got a down throw at around, 80%, and he didn't try to link it into forward air, meaning it's not a true combo on Luigi, which makes a lot of sense. But then I'm wondering what's with the stadium. Of course, skullbro knows better than I do.
I think he just wants those fair kills.
He just wants the fair kills?
I think the fair kills are just...
Yeah, because I just saw Luigi Nair kill at, like, what, 110? Which is kind of huge.
That's true, but those fairs are going to kill way earlier than that Nair.
Interesting. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's just purely what it is. Just you want to get those fairs. You want to just throw out those fairs, and you want to get early kills.
Yeah, I'm also noticing Luigi has a much stronger edge guard against Doc than Doc has against Luigi, despite having cape.
Yeah, Doc has to go for the callouts, and the callouts can be really powerful. But like, it's definitely like Luigi gets to, I guess, like, yeah, it's definitely. I don't know, because it's just kind of owned.
Yeah,
I suppose.
There, and then yeah, because Doc has such bad follow-ups on after throws on floaties, Luigi can just do what he does best, which is just throw at hitboxes after hit stun. And if skullbro isn't careful, he's just going to take a lot of unnecessary percent.
No, he's definitely relying a lot on. Yeah, he's relying on like figuring out. I mean, that's his entire gameplay in general, is just trying to figure out like what your option after you're out of hit stun is going to be. And if he just doesn't space it right, he can get randomly, he can just get randomly hit by like a Nair.
Yeah.
Ooh, that fair almost killed. And that's kind of the thing that you want out of Stadium, is getting those little fair kills, seeing what you can do. But really scary stuff. Madness with the good wave dash back. Gets that down smash kill. This is definitely, skullbro is definitely a little behind. He's definitely needing to get it together, man.
Get it together. Get it together.
Grow up, man. You're protecting home turf, not just the Netherlands. You're protecting Brabant.
Yes, this is actually the last Dutch player left in the tournament.
Last Dutch player left in the tournament. Despite what you might think about Max, he's in fact from. I don't remember where in London he's from. My brain wants to say Croydon, but I think that's Kingu.
Oh, well, I'm not going to pretend to know.
He's from London somewhere, and then he lives in like Brighton now. I think that's what it is. I don't know, Max. That pressure was on the Star GG.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Okay, but skullbro randomly just flipping the momentum now.
I mean, this is
definitely behind pretty much all game.
Oh,
what? That forward tilt felt a little unnecessary.
No, because Madness was going to land on stage. So
Really?
he wants to.
Luigi
I
has
think
that much
so.
drift?
I think so.
Wow, interesting. Okay,
From that,
gotcha.
from the
Off the
cape,
FD.
from the cape and whatever. I think
Yeah.
it did like kind of work out that way. But I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe skullbro just overcooked it.
I mean,
it's fine because he got the kill.
I, as a mortal, question skullbro's
No,
decision,
you're a
right?
commentator. You can say anything you want.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you
even
can
if it's wrong.
Yes.
Wow.
Listen, if they listen, what you need to do is if they say something wrong, you can just at them on Twitter and be like, "You're a loser. Who cares?" You know.
Fair.
Wow. You know, nerd emoji. Wow. Who
Yeah,
cares?
no,
You know, you open
it.
Oka points to figure that one out. You frame events. Come on, grow up.
You freaking
Exactly. You know. Did you use 20 XX for that? I
Very
just
scary
vibe.
loss
You know, I'm like
association.
Mango.
You're like, oh, you're like Mango.
Yeah, I just vibe. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know frame data. Okay, up aperture. That was Dutch. I don't know why I did that.
Up air chin? No, I
Up
like
aperture for the sphere. There. Oh, yeah,
catches
there it
the
is.
double
There it
jump
is.
with
Those
a
callouts.
forward air.
Those fair callouts can come early.
Yeah, skullbro.
You can find those fair callouts.
You know, doing what he does best for real.
So this is what feels like what could have happened in the Madness Stein set, where the second game gets won by Stein.
Yes.
And then it kind of changes the dynamic of the set.
Yeah.
But instead,
Instantly goes.
but unlike with the Stein set, where he instead went down 2-0 and it was like, all right, well, this is just awful and I hate my life.
Yep.
This is 1-1, which, not to, you know, be like this, but winning games is good and losing games is bad. But obviously,
That's a controversial.
this is definitely makes, simplifies a couple things for Skullbro as he has another potential counter pick. And he doesn't have to potentially win a game on Stadium and then go down 2-0 and then play 3 games
Wow.
of Dreamland,
Patient
which would be, or 2 games of
what is
Dreamland,
that?
which would be awful. Because he's definitely going to have to find his callouts. And obviously, Luigi is going to live a lot longer. Or not a lot longer, but Luigi obviously gets more of an opportunity, and the kill opportunities for Skullbro are going to be a bit more difficult to find.
Yeah.
But obviously, he can still rip an F smash for the culture, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Although how late until that that
Oh, that call out is so good,
Wow,
and
and
he doesn't have a charge.
wow.
It's uncharged, so he can't recover. And that's gonna make Skullbro real happy because he's gonna try and squeeze as much as he can, and he squeezes nothing. He squeezes 2% out of it.
Yeah.
My bad. This is what I get for trying to make the narrative before.
Before seeing.
Yeah. Well, that's what commentating is all about. You know, making the narrative. You know, lying.
Lying.
You know, gatekeeping.
Professional liar.
Gaslighting.
Yeah.
It is what it is, actually. You know, lying is a very important part of the job.
Spreading misinformation.
Oh, listen. I have lied knowingly so many times on this very stage.
On this very stage.
On
huh?
this very stage. I've been here before.
Okay.
I was here last Somnio commentating and lying my ass off.
Wow, Skullbro's really keeping up.
Yeah, no, he's definitely doing well.
Oh, that could have been a kill.
It's still quite awkward because the thing is, right, is that this percent is a bit misleading because obviously Madness can potentially turn this into a kill easier than Skullbro has to. Skullbro has to basically just get like a call out and then potentially get an
Wow.
edge guard. That does not
kill.
kill.
Does not
Exactly.
kill at 100. Okay.
Exactly. Like that's where the percent kind of comes in. Is like, oh, but you can't really. You need to still get another hit or get like a really good F smash or an edge guard.
Yeah.
Well, Madness is a way easier time edge guarding and generally also just survives longer regardless.
Yeah, but this is a pretty definitely edge guard from Madness.
Oh, he doesn't
Okay, but
actually
drops
get it though. Yep. He's on the ledge, but gives Skullbro a bit of a chance to
Skullbro
try and play some
praying to hit something like that. Exactly what I
just
meant.
and then just calls him out with the fair.
Yeah.
In true Skullbro fashion, he just rips one.
I absolutely love Madness's reactions as well. Whenever he gets hit by a fair like that, the call out, it feels like he's the one getting hit by the fair.
Madness is a very emotional, or like a emotive player.
Yeah.
And I like that. I feel like both of these players are quite emotive, actually.
100%.
Skullbro's also definitely a bit of an FGC nodder, but a very exaggerated FGC nod.
Yeah.
And Madness is the same. You know, they just, I don't know. I guess plumber players are anime characters.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
You know, in a good way, maybe. I feel like, yeah.
Yeah. Does Luigi have a ledge dash?
Yes.
Really?
I don't know how much Galind it has. I can only assume that it's
Another hard call out.
not that much, but I'm not really sure actually. But he definitely has a ledge dash.
Oh, the walk up smash.
It's better than Marth. But everybody has a ledge dash better than Marth.
Yeah.
And the thing obviously is that Luigi obviously has a really big, like really low traction, so you don't need as much Galind to get like good, get really deep.
Yeah.
But
Okay, forward air getting close to killing now for Skullbro.
Ooh, the trade.
Yeah, that
Oh, that
Nair is
trade
huge.
went. Yeah,
What's the
that's
edge
a
guard
funny.
gonna
go for ledge.
Wow, solid.
Yeah, clean.
Yeah, Madness not getting what he was bargaining for coming to the stage.
I feel like that's one thing with skullbro is that skullbro has played for such a long time where people didn't know how to edge guard.
Yeah.
Like talk, and he's like been like, listen, just
Okay,
grab
that is
ledge
right
when they're about to up B and just look at the screen. And I feel like he has a pretty decent understanding of how to edge guard the other plumbers, which is quite.
Wow.
Oh, he just ripped it at low percent.
Oh my god.
That's
like,
crazy.
Why not, right? I guess.
I mean, yeah, if you have the lead, and you do kind of have to, and it's also like a good little tempo change. Like, actually, no, I'm not camping. I'm going
Yeah, why
in.
stop now, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you capitalize this entire...
Oh, yeah, +100 get up.
Wow.
You thought that you might go up 2-0. Actually, you're down 2-1.
That's nuts. That's very interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think...
I mean, that puts skullbro in such a good position.
Yeah. Skullbro's definitely kind of like easing back into the set. I definitely also think that Madness gave up a couple freebies that game.
Oh, 100%.
Like, he definitely kind of like, that last stock was definitely like, I mean, he was above 100. You kind of gave him the chance to just get that edge hog. But like, obviously, a lot of this is... a lot of melee in general, especially when you're under pressure, is hitting your freebies. What F smash?
Forward smash is the wave dash in.
I think something that's really nice about skullbro is his willingness to rip it, but he's willing to rip it not all the time. He's using it primarily to be like to make tempo changes.
Yeah.
And like he's not just trying to rip it because he's like, I have arbitrarily decided that my patience is up and I will now be ripping an F or a forward air. He's more like I feel like he's specific. Like I can see my opponent is kind of trying to like come in and take space. And then once it feels like it's appropriate to try and punish them for taking space, I'm going to rip an a forward air.
Yeah, 100%. Well, he just really likes to get into people's heads in that way. Like, every time I've gotten advice from him, it's usually been about, like, oh, just, like, try to figure out when your opponent's coming in.
Yeah.
Or something along the lines of just, like, oh, just read your opponent. Like, this is the most natural thing ever for him. And with a character like Luigi, who you're supposed to get into the head of like his momentum and when he wants to wave dash in, when he wants to wave dash out, I feel like that's perfect for skullbro. Like, it's exactly what he wants, I guess.
I feel like it's very much a thing that is like, I feel like this kind of thinking is something that's quite emblematic of a decent amount of Dutch players. Because I feel like Stein very much is also kind of like this. And I feel like just this very like kind of, how about you just know what your opponent does? You're looking at the screen and you're going to just enforce like your will upon your opponent. Is very much like also a thing from like Omsa and stuff, where it's like, it's not really about like, obviously Stein has amazing tech skill, and skullbro has all of his weird tricks and gimmicks, but there's very much just a part of it where it's like, I'm just kind of gonna, know what's going on, and I'm just gonna fucking rip that fair, and then your ass is just gonna be grass.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's working.
It's going very. Ooh, he doesn't actually get it though.
It reverses the edge guard, and it's still not gonna kill. Welcome to Dreamland.
Yes. Oh, the up air. Oh, Mattis gets clipped. That's definitely.
Yeah, and skullbro just takes center. Like, he doesn't care. He's like, I'm not gonna try to fish for your landing. I'm not that dumb.
Yeah, it's scary. Like, it's very scary. Like,
very solid by Madness there. Yeah, that's just gonna close it out.
Because this is the thing. Because that's definitely something that you can get kind of tricked by, especially when you play against Luigis that kind of do a lot of like these, instant aerials out of hit stun and all these little like panic options and stuff. Is that you get kind of stuck in this like 50-50 kind of mindset where it's like, I'm going to read when you're doing a landing aerial, or I will be trying to like hit your no landing, like your tomahawk landing. Yeah. And that's it. And it's like, actually, you could do a lot of other things, and often you don't even have to really go into that position, because what you can instead do is just force them to beat you once they land, and they start panicking a little bit. Yeah. But I mean,
skullbro's so happily settling in the center. Oh, and gets the kill randomly.
I mean, I think that skullbro is definitely like becoming more comfortable. I think.
Yeah, and yet he's not in the lead. It is definitely nowhere near as controlling as it was.
That's true, but it's still Dreamland, right? So I think he's mostly like he's playing with the comfort, and it's just not quite working out. But it's good to be confident in that your approach and your general like game plan is working.
Yes.
And that sometimes you just kind of lose some situations, either because the stage is harder, or you're just some of the some of the neutral situations didn't quite go your way, and that's just what it is sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, he rips it. He tries. I think it's a fair decision, but unfortunately, it does kind of put him in an awkward position, because he needs to try and close the stock out relatively fast, because otherwise he might just get chipped to death. Ooh, that fair doesn't kill. Oh, it actually does. Matt is also shaking his head. Madden shook his head.
think the DI
I
was
shook
just
my
not
head
exactly
internally.
what,
Yeah. But yeah, we
what thought it was.
both were like, nah, that doesn't kill. And apparently,
Yeah, because he's hit those fairs like 4 or 5 times in the past 2 Dreamland games, and it hasn't killed before at that percent. I was glancing at the percent to be like, oh, what percent did he do that at? And it's never killed until.
yeah, I was like, that's
so
not.
there had to
yeah.
be some weird DI trickery
Okay.
going on there, or maybe a double jump on accident.
Classic. He gets a grab, down throw, gets a bear. Nothing
So we're
else.
making a strong case here.
Oh, Madden needs to get it together. I know that he lost this. Oh, and he misses a lead stack. Ah, not like this.
So no one wants to see it end like that. Not even Skullbro.
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. So that's gonna be 3-1 to skullbro.
But a very fun set to watch.
That's an unfortunate miss ledge dash.